Alright, I'm going to do a Heritage Rough Rider versus a Ruger Wrangler comparison today. Review and shoot. Got some 22 Thunderbolt here. A couple other different ones to shoot through them. I'm going to run through the paces and then I'll talk about the differences and see what I notice that I like or don't like between the two. What's different about them. So the Rough Rider's been out for a while. The Wrangler is new as of last year, I believe it was. The Rough Riders, a lot of times you can find them on sale for, I got this one for $99. Usually not that cheap online, but I've seen them online for as low as $119. But then you also have other places trying to charge you $150, $175, and sometimes even upwards of $200 plus, depending on what kind of grips and options they have and all that. This is a 6 or 6.5 inch barrel. I know one or the other. It's at least 6. It might be 6.5. The Ruger Wrangler, I can't remember exactly, but I know it's a 4. Again, it's like 4, 4.5, somewhere in there. But yeah, that's the prices you'll see on this. But really, you shouldn't pay more than $120 for a standard one. If you are, go elsewhere. I'm not even sure if you can find the $99 deals anymore, but last year I did, so it might still be out there. But $119 is a good price for them. The Wrangler, every time I've seen it here, $179, pretty standard price on those. So again, if you're paying $200 or more for the Wrangler, look elsewhere. Now, the Heritage is a painted finish, so it's not super durable. The barrel is blued, I believe. But the rest of this here, you can see where the paint has scratched off. So this is painted, that's painted. The barrel, I believe, is blued, and the cylinder is blued. But yeah, the paint comes off pretty easy on these. You just move them around the table and such, and your paint's going to come off. Now the Wrangler is a Cerakote finish, so very sturdy, very strong, very resilient. As of right now, you can get it in this bronze, goldish color, silver or gray, and black. And ignore my hands, by the way. I was painting and doing a brake job and spreading mulch today, so they're pretty nasty. Okay, so the Wrangler here, you do have that, oh, what's that thing called again? I forget what that little safety bar there is called. Maybe it's called a safety bar, but it lets you carry with one in the chamber without worry of it hitting the hammer and going on. They both have safeties, so you can carry one in the chamber. It has this little safety bar thing here that comes up as you just saw it there. It doesn't let the hammer hit the firing pin while you're carrying one in the chamber, so you don't have to worry about that like in the olden days. Similar thing here. Whoops. Well, I believe this one's safety activated. Yeah. This one has the safety. Heritage got the Colt COLK, whatever they call it, 4-click thing. Which some people like. I think it's kind of cool. Sounds more old school. Ruger is a little harder to pull back, but it's got more texture here, so, but it is a little stiffer. Now the Wranglers you can get with a Magnum cylinder. Some of them come with the Magnum cylinder for a little bit more, or you can always order it after the fact. Not an option on the Ruger. Plastic grips on the Ruger. I think some of these might come with wood. These ones are plastic. Of course, you have the other options they have, like the pearl and whatnot. This is your sight picture on the Wrangler. And then on the Heritage, so I prefer the way the cylinder works on the Rough Rider personally, for one, the feed gate is a hell of a lot easier to open and close. This one, I don't know if it's just mine, but this has loosened up considerably since new. It was all I could do to open it new. I don't know if it's that Cerakote finish or what, but this is about 3 times as hard even now that it's had several hundred rounds to it to open, and it kind of hurts the finger. Whereas the Rough Rider is very easy to open. This is what I like about the Rough Rider. Just spin the chamber. You got to take it on its second click. But it's got little locking positions. You can hear it click. It clicks into place. So for me, that makes it way easier to unload and load because it's always lined up. With the Ruger, it just spins freely. So it doesn't lock into place. So all the time I'm like, you gotta line it up just right to get it out. And then the same thing putting it in, and then it tries to spin on you sometimes while you're trying to put them in. So I prefer the Rough Rider in that regard. Take them down, I believe, is pretty much the same. Push into the tab, pull out the button, open the feed gate. This one comes out. Don't you have to put a hammer back or some shit on this one?
Yeah.
To the second position, right?
Yep.
And then the same thing. Alright, come on. He just made a good point. Go ahead and show it. I think the reason this one's so much harder to open is because the loading gate is what actually locks that in place, potentially. Not sure. Alright, so shut up and shoot them now. And then we can talk about triggers and sights and all that. And just for fun, we'll put a couple over the chrono with the, you know, this one's got a longer barrel, so it should shoot a little bit faster. Alright, these are just your standard Remington Thunderbolts. I always tell people say they love this stuff, but I don't know if you can tell in the video, but I can hear up and down variance in the shot. Like one's louder, the next one's quieter, the next one's louder, and you can see it in the chrono. They're not consistent at all. See, much faster unloading. Alright, well, we'll set the targets up. 22 doesn't have enough energy to knock them over, but I'll still run through and hit them anyways. Hopefully you can hear them hit. It's kind of hard to hear over the gunshot, but maybe we'll still hit it. I also got videos of each one of these shooting out accurately at 100 yards if you want to check that out. That one was really quiet. Man, those things are shitty. Check out the trigger on this. Here, switch me sides. Got a little creep on the Wrangler. Feels good though, nice and smooth. Maybe about a 5.5, 6 pound pull there. But other than that, smooth. Check out the Rough Rider. That one's definitely lighter. A little bit of play too. I want to say seems like a hair less play than the Rough Rider. And it feels about a pound lighter too. The Heritage for me is a little more stable. Like as far as not going up and down as bad. But with it being a longer barrel, even though I'm more stable, like I'm not going like this as much, I can see that front sight post wobbling a little bit, so it's a little more stable. It's a little easier for me to get on target more quickly, I think. Yeah, just a little bit. And a little more stable, but the front post shakes a little more. Comfort wise, I think the grip's a little more comfortable for me on the Rough Rider too. Alright, let's do some more shooting. One thing I will say though about the sights, or I should say in addition to, when we did the 100-yard videos, the sights on the Ruger, they are a little more precise for like long range shooting. They have crisper, sharper edges to them, whereas the Rough Rider has more rounded edges, and the front blade on the Rough Rider is ever so slightly wider. And on the flip side though, this Cerakote finish, I don't know if it's just because of the gold collar or what, but it's a little harder to see the sights as the light comes down. Alright, so probably can't knock any of these over, but I'm definitely quicker with the Rough Rider. Like I wasn't trying to be Speedy Gonzalez with either, but this one's it's a lot easier to go quicker with. Like I was discussing earlier, like I can get on target quicker with this one. I think it's because those sights, they're, like I was discussing, they're more precise. But because they're more precise, it takes a little longer to focus in on them than it does with these. It's just kind of point and go. Now I'll do some single action shooting, because last time, I don't remember which video, But a couple people were like, well, they're shooting cowboy action revolvers and you're not even you're shooting it with 2 hands. And I don't know why I said single action shooting. They are single action. One-handed shooting is what I meant to say. So we'll do some one-handed shooting. Where'd that go?
No idea.
Your turn. How'd you get that to knock over?
I blew on it a little bit.
Did you put your magnum cylinder in there? What the cheater! I know you're aiming at the top on those. You had to have been.
I have an idea.
What's that? You. What's your idea?
I'll show you in a minute.
All right. All right, well, there you go. And of course, you can shoot 22 long rifle, 22 longs, and 22 shorts out of these. I actually brought a few shorts, but I'm going to wrap this up. We still got to head to the rifle range. They're both just about as accurate, honestly. It looks like I was grouping better for some reason today on the orange with one than the other. Potentially, I don't know, you guys can see the footage. But they're both plenty accurate. Like I said, I got videos of them both out at 100 yards accurately. So they're probably more accurate than I am. But yeah, I don't know. I would say, honestly, I prefer the Heritage. The Ruger's built better. You can just tell, like, handling it. It's a tighter, less sloppy finish. I had one person say, because you can hear, oh, the Ruger rattles when I shake it, so it's crappier. No, that's that safety bar in there is what's rattling around. So that's not a build quality thing. That's just the design of it for you to have that safety bar. But the Ruger's definitely built tighter. It feels like a better made gun. It is a better made gun. It doesn't have paint like that that's going to scrape off. But as far as shooting experience goes, I like... I had more fun shooting the Rough Rider. It's also easier to shoot. It's easier to load and unload for me. It's easier to hold the loading gate. And it's cheaper, so... And also, you know, you're not going to cry if you drop it in the dirt or whatever, because it didn't cost that much. They're a dime a dozen, but... Not that the Ruger's expensive, but... In the end, I don't know. If I could do it all over again, I would just have the Rough Rider, which is probably what I'm going to end up going down to. I have more fun with them. They're quicker and easier for me to shoot, and you just got the paint coming off there, but that happens to all of them. You can just repaint them, I guess. But one thing I will say too, like these new in the store, they feel tight, okay? But after owning both of these and shooting them both about the same, you can feel that this one loosens up. Like it gets sloppier after a few hundred rounds, whereas this thing has stayed tight the whole time. So you're definitely paying for the Ruger name there and the better build quality. It is better built, but there's nothing wrong with the Rough Rider, and I prefer it. So really it just comes down to your preferences and what you want and how tight your budget is. But hey, this video is probably already getting longer than I want it to be. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button for me if you don't mind. If you want to know when we post videos, subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. Thanks for watching.